Greetings and salutations, everybody. My name is Jeannie, but you can call me JD, or vice versa. Welcome to the episode. I think it's 138, I'm not sure. And life is okay. It's not great, but it's not horrible. Still got the work shake up, but moving forward with that stuff, shit happens. And I gotta be able to deal with that. So, anyway, work crap aside, and it is crap, let me bring you this night's sponsor. It's a little bit of an oddity. It's by Flying Fish Brewing Company, and it's Bayshore Oyster Stout. And I bought it purely because, well, it's a stout, and it says Exit 1. Which I think is cool, because the best exit from the Parkway in New Jersey is 0, which is Cape May. So I said, ooh, Exit 1. I'm going to try this. And it turns out, remind me to read the fine print next time I pick out a strange brew, because it's beer brewed with oysters, folks. I can't make this shit up. Read the... you can't, because I'm an idiot. Sorry, kids. Beer brewed with oysters. I've had one sip already, and it is quite hale and hearty. A bit like Guinness, but different. And it's got a very nice smell to it. And it's extremely dark with a thick, heavy head when you pour it into a glass. It's a thick tan colored head on the brew, and it tastes smooth. Smoother than I thought it would. I kind of like it. I like it. This despite being brewed with something I would never ever eat. So, notice anything different? I'm not talking about having cleaned my room, because I'm a slob and I apologize. Every episode I apologize. But look! There is less of me. Well, mostly less of me. Still plenty of this, but way less of hair. Yes, I got myself a haircut this weekend, and now that accursed red that was on the tip of my hair for years and years is gone. Yay! I'm hoping it's a better, lighter cut for me, because my hair makes me just feel hot and irritated, and I hate that. So, yeah, trying it out. It feels good. It really does. And clearly I do not do much special, because I looked fabulous until I took a shower last night. The nice lady blew it dry straight, and it had a little bouncy curl on the end. It was really cute. If you're on my Instagram feed, you can see pictures of it. Feel free to join me there on Instagram under JD666. There's info at the end on how to get in touch with me. And I know Abby Grasso, I want to say hi back to you. Sorry I didn't write you yet. I didn't quite know what to say other than thank you for watching. And yes, I can't wait to knit up that spooky fun kit that you created with the ghosts and the orange. I love it. So anyway, yeah, there we go. Anyway, hi Abby, if you're still watching me. I was gonna clean off my desk this where. Remember these? Still haven't woven in the ends. What do? I work on new projects. Speaking of projects, I have no finished objects again this week. But I am making nice progress on my gray sweater, the button-yoke cardigan. And that is by Bobby Morris. I'm just gonna say Bobby because it's Bobbe Morris. No, wait. I'm sorry. I'm so wrong. Ugh. Bobby Morris designed the hat that I'm still working on. Sandy Prosser. Sorry, Sandy. Sandy Prosser designed this really cute button yoke cardigan, and I'm knitting it out of Encore on size 9 circulars. And I do have a bit of progress. I'm up. This is from when I last podcasted. So, there. And it's up to now 13.5 inches. So I just 1.5 more inches and I'll be up to the armholes, which is awesome. I do really like working with the Encore. It's a little rustic, but it's still soft enough for, I think, next to skin. We'll see. Anyway, I'm really happy with how it's looking so far. I really think moss stitch is pretty and beautiful and all that. And yes, moving along nicely, hoping that will fit me. I haven't touched my blurred lines socks in the Post yarn by Simply Socks, so I'm not going to show you those because I haven't touched them ever since I reached the black, and I shouldn't be such a wuss. I already knit one of the socks in that, so I will touch them. I'm just a little obsessed with the sweater. I kinda did not do my 5 rows a day like I promised myself I would do. Instead, I've been working on my Curse Breaker by Michelle Nair. Anyway, I finished it about wait. Did I finish it? Yes, I finished 2 different rows, so it is growing. But much like my friend Gretel told me, it is a bit of a slog as the shawl grows. But I get a lot of compliments on it, so I'm gonna keep on going. It is really fun to knit. It's not hard once you figure out how to read the pattern, which is not that bad at all to read. Some rows you gotta pay attention, some rows you can just move along, and then the moving along gets really slow because there's so many stitches. Ah! But I'm really enjoying that hooking. So that's in my Ravelry bag. What else am I working on? I did try to start a pretty pair of mitts in a pattern that someone was kind enough to give me. But you know what happened? I even bought new size 4 DPNs to knit it. And wow, that's got a bite to it. The beer that bites you back. Anyway. Sorry, I stopped myself in the middle of a sentence. All apologies. So, anyway, yes, I started these really cute sparkly mitts, fingerless mitts, and I ended up frogging it once with great difficulty, starting again on the wooden needles, and it was a nightmare. I couldn't stand working with the yarn on a small needle. I'm probably just going to end up making a shawl or using the yarn as a part of a shawl motif. I do have some nice shawl patterns that I could use it with, so I probably will. The yarn I was trying to work with was beaded mohair with sequins, and it's really beautiful. And silvery sparkles all throughout it. and I cannot stand working with it. So it will be something worked with large needles and quickly made up into something, or it will just be a part of a larger shawl, like 2 or 3 parts of the motif will be done in it. So I just can't stand working on it on size 3 needles. It was driving me nuts. I hate having to force a novelty yarn into behaving. Sometimes I can do it, sometimes I give up in despair. I'm sure none of you are blaming me for that. I bet all of us have been through that frustrating journey of working with novelty yarn. Even though they can be fun and happy-go-lucky to knit, but sometimes you just want to throw it across the room. And before I threw a $30 to $40 skein of yarn across my room to not be found until spring, I figured I'd just rip it out and do something else with it. So that's my frustration. I was going to have a nice little weekend project, but I fucked it up instead. I'm sure you're very disappointed. Hopefully you don't care that much about my projects, but hey, I'm sorry. So, with that disappointment behind me, I'm only working on the sweater, the socks, maybe, and the shawl. Now, I ripped out the beautiful shawl that I don't even know where the frickin' pattern is. Maybe it's here. And it's not there. Anyway, started with an A. I ripped it out, and I will start it again because I bought those size 17 needles. Going to start that shawl again with the Martha Stewart roving on these, and we will see what happens. It's a shawl, not a big fucking deal if my gauge isn't matching the pattern. I'm sure it will be fine. Better be fine after those mitts. Anyway, no spinning has been done, even though I've been wanting to go into the den. Mostly I've been just winding yarn or stash shopping for inspiration. So, there we go. So anyway, let's go on to stuff and junk, shall we? What have I been watching? A bit of Doctor Who. I finally broke into my birthday present of season 7. I watched the first DVD, and I really love having a DVD of it because it has all those extras that are so delightful to watch. And I watched all of the Pond Life. Tragic last one. I hated that when they broke up. You'll see. If you haven't gotten that far. If you haven't gotten that far, you're even sadder than I am. I'm talking about Amy Pond and Rory Pond. I'm not sure if he took her name, but it seems that way, doesn't it? Seems like that's the way it should be. Because, she wears the tight leather pants in the family. Or the tight jeans. And, yeah. Yeah, let's see what else is. Oh, yes, watch more of season 7 of Doctor Who. Nothing of anything else. Ooh, I found out that the Bates Motel is on. Holy crap. If you're watching this on Monday, which is doubtful, but Bates Motel starts today, I'm going to have to DVR it because I haven't watched the very last episode of it from last season. But it's a good show, Bates Motel. Try it. Also try Sleepy Hollow, which is also awesome. But a little less awesome. More campy. Definitely more campy than Bates Motel. I do love Sleepy Hollow. That tall drink of a man that plays Ichabod Crane is just to die for. Anyway, also, I watched Snakes on a Plane. I don't know how I got this far in life without having watched Snakes on a Plane, and I waited till nearly the end of the movie. Hopefully I'm not spoiling it for anybody, but it's at the end of the movie and they're like, oh my god, we gotta get this guy into the cabin, but there's snakes in the cabin, blah blah blah. And Samuel Jackson just slams his fist against the wall and said, enough is enough. I haven't had enough of... No. Whatever. I've had enough of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane, and I was like, yeah. And then I went back to knitting my sweater. Waiting over an hour for him to say that. And I screwed up on the podcast. What else is new? But anyway, so campy. And I kept remembering all the people from all the other shows that they were on. Like the bodyguard dude that's now on Saturday Night Live. The dude who plays the boss or the ex-boss on Workaholics or something. Anyway, he's been in a lot of comedy shows. That was the captain that died last from terrible snake bites. And just, I kept seeing faces that I knew. It was pretty funny. Anyway, yeah, you should watch it too. It's fun to watch. And that's it. I need to return that tape so I can tape. Oh my god, I'm so old. I said tape instead of DVD. Yes, I am. Get over it. Oh, and I also purchased a game for myself. I had no idea that games were so expensive now. For the PS3, holy shit. One game, $60, and they had no used ones, of course, I asked. I bought the Stick of Truth, the South Park. It is so hilarious. The kids are swearing. No matter what you call your person that you play the game with, Cartman will call you douchebag. He will. You say your name is douchebag, is that right? And I'm like, no, my name's not douchebag, it's Benedict. Because he's got curly black hair and wears purple. So I said no. And then okay, so your name is douchebag. So no matter what you put in your name, it's douchebag. Maybe if you call yourself Turd Sandwich, he'd let you go. But it's always douchebag. And you fight, and you get to meet more characters, and it's friggin' hilarious. It's called the Stick of Truth, and it is pricey. Maybe you can find it for less money, but oh my god. It's kind of a last Wahoo present for myself, I guess. In addition to the gorgeous non-flyaway hair. Yeah, hello. Nobody believes that. Neither do I. So, anyway, yes, that's what I've been watching and doing. I've got a review for you, actually. Now, yes, if anybody knows me, I subscribe to Simply Knitting. I've been having a great deal of issues with my fucking subscription, and I've been pissed off. But today, I received an issue that I claimed all the way back in February, and a more recent issue. Still waiting on the other one. I think I should be getting it soon. Maybe this month. But anyway, I got issue 117, which is where they start doing early spring, late winter kind of knits. And I really do like this issue, including and especially the little extra thing for all of us sewing people It's pretty awesome. I really want to make that little envelope for your sewing needles. Adorable. And anyway, let's start off. There's a lot more than I'm showing you, but I just want to showcase a few of my favorite things. It's got the cartoon, it's got the crossword, it's got the word find, it's got an interview with Monica Russell. No, that's just a baby ad. There. And it's got the Stitch Dictionary. But let's start with some patterns that I find fun. Now, this is really pretty. Sunny Skies is a one bulb project by Kirsty McLeod. It's a beautiful cabled hat. Isn't that pretty? I don't know what it uses. It uses Aran weight, so that would be a good red heart or something like that. Something fun for you to use. And Alan Dart's toy. This kind of makes me wish that Mom still worked for a children's library, because it's Mother Goose. And it is beautiful. Isn't that adorable? No kid I know needs the toy. Maybe I should just make one of his nursery rhymes and just give it to the library. I don't know. I do love them. Oh, and they've got this new thing going along where they take a color and they do a few projects based on it. This month is A Touch of Blue, which is a bunch of very nice patterns. A pillow, a purse, and a pair of slipper socks, which are very pretty. And going, and then this god-awful looking cow. Looks too poofy for me. Chunky knits. And they suggest you make it with a 70% mohair, 30% silk yarn. Good lord, people! Oh, and you gotta mix it with merino. So, what do you hold it twice? Oh, okay. And it says DK. Jesus. You double it. You should double it. Yep, you double it. Oh, God. I feel like I would be smothered in something that warm. Do not want. I have enough trouble keeping my body temperature sane. Menopause is not a myth. Oh, and again with Rianne Drinkwater's pretty socks. I love her socks. I knit one pair, now I want to knit a bunch of them. Good thing she keeps designing, because these are very attractive. I think they're very nice, so I will probably add these to the queue sometime. And given that Simply Knitting isn't so hot about putting the damn designs on, I'll probably have to do it myself. There's also, of course, the obsession with tea. Not saying that that's a bad thing. I like tea. And then I looked at these mittens and thought, why would you make mittens with holes in them? But they are really pretty. I'll say that much. They're very pretty mittens. I just don't see why you would make them with holes. I guess they're springtime mitts. Whatever. So, anyway. That is issue number 117. Ooh, it's all blurry. I'm so sorry about that. Must be moving around too much. Yay. So anyway, that is my review for this week. Issue 117 of Simply Knitting has some nice supplement with post-it notes on it. And great socks. And oh, the gift was a tape measure. And not a retractable one either. This one had its own little tin box. And immediately looked at it and said, I already have 3 Simply Knitting tape measures. Mom, would you like a tape measure? So I gave it to her. She hasn't even opened it yet. Oysters. Okay, so I can't pick the good ones all the time. You should have seen the one I picked last time. Oh god, it was hard. It's horrible. I'll do it next week when I'm recovered from drinking it. I tried it out Saturday night. Friday or Saturday night, I tried out this Mexican beer. Was a porter called Pay the Riverman or something, and it was Day of the Dead themed. I thought, cool beans, Day of the Dead theme, let's go. So I picked up a random one, and it was a porter, and the smell was sweet, slightly sweet. When you put it in your mouth and swished it around, bit sweet, really thick. Then you swallowed it, and once it hit the back of your tongue, you felt as though you had just swallowed a cigarette ash. An ashtray full of cigarette ashes mixed with Budweiser. So it was just like, what? So I bought this huge, heavy stout brewed with fucking oysters to remove the memory. Did I tell you how the mouthfeel? Wait. Thick and bitter. Like a lot of stouts. Equate it to a stronger than Guinness. It's darker than Guinness, too. My dad poured it out of the bottle so he could have a sip of it, and he was aghast at the thickness of the head of the beer, so do with that information what you will. I'm probably turning you on to Corona or something like that, and for that, I'm deeply sorry. But anyway, that just about wraps up the show. I want to thank all of you for joining me today, no matter what time, even if it's next year or something like that, and you're like, geez, her hair gets so short. And anyway, thank you so much for joining me. And I want to say a special shout out to Mimi. I don't know if she watches, but she's my buddy on Facebook, and she does charity knitting and distribution, and she rocks. She sent me a morale booster because I have been a bit spooked and frightened and worried about my future and my job, and she sent me a care package, and for that, I love you, Mimi. You're a sweet, sweet lady, and so wise. But anyway, so, and I finally finished the book The Shining, and I really liked it. It's a really good book. If you haven't read it and you like horror, I highly recommend The Shining. But you've probably read it way before I did. But yeah, that is one book that is hard to put down once you start. Now I'm thinking I will read one of the 2 things that I put on my dad's Nook, which is either Doctor Who novel or The Night Circus. I think that's what it's called. I don't know. I haven't finished any of the other things that I'm reading either. I've just shoved them out of my mind and put them out. They're collecting dust. I'm a bad reader. Anyway, that's it for now. Of course, I'll be back in a week, and thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate all my viewers, young and old, new and returning. Thank you so much for joining me, and don't forget, whenever you do crafts, You are making the world a more beautiful place. And for that, I thank you. See you in a week.